The Voice of America thus carries a heavy responsibility. Its burden of truth is not easy to bear.
Truth is mankind's best hope for a better world. The Voice of America has been a strong voice for truth.
The Voice of America has been the voice of freedom.
For years, presidents have praised the Voice of America, but not anymore. Donald Trump is trying to gut the venerable network. The U.S. government established what became the Voice of America in 1942 as a radio network charged with counteracting the spread of Nazi propaganda. During and after the Cold War, the VOA became a key tool against authoritarian regimes, broadcasting in nearly 50 languages. But now it's under attack from Donald Trump. This month, the president signed an executive order putting over 1,000 VOA journalists on administrative leave. And authoritarian leaders around the world are cheering these developments. The editor-in-chief for Russia's state TV said, quote, "This is awesome." But just a few moments ago, a federal judge said it's not so awesome. Judge Paul Etkin in the Southern District of New York issued a temporary restraining order to halt Trump's efforts to shutter the agency. Joining me now to talk about all of these developments is Steve Herman, the VOA's chief national correspondent. Steve was placed on administrative leave in February. All right, Steve, for more than 20 years, your reporting with the VOA has taken you all around the world. You've been to North Korea and the Ukraine. You were in court today when all of this went down. What was the mood when the judge issued this order, or heard the arguments, and then later issued this order?
Yeah, the judge said at the end of the hearing that he would likely issue the temporary restraining order, and it just happened a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
so
right here.
We were confident, but as you know, it's not in the bag until it's in the bag. So all this does, however, is just freeze things in place.
Right.
It says that they can't fire the people they want to fire at the end of the month, which is about 550 of our contractors. We have people with J-1 visas that risk being sent back to very dangerous places where they'll be persecuted and put in prison. That's frozen, but it does not put us back in the studios. It doesn't put us back in the field reporting, and doesn't put the television and radio programming back on the air in the 50 languages that we broadcast in.
Right, so this is really important for viewers. This is an initial step. It's a temporary restraining order. It just stops the administration from doing anything more right now. In order to get back on the air, there's going to have to be another hearing, this time for a preliminary injunction, where the court will decide whether or not the Voice of America is likely to prevail on the merits, whether there is a threat of irreparable harm to the organization, and then you can make a decision that will install or put all of the individuals back in place and allow operations to continue. But that's a long time away. I mean, at least in legal time. It could be a month, maybe 2 months or more.
Well, in broadcasting time, it's an eternity because the audience is not getting their programming. 360 million people in about 50 languages. So that void, the vacuum, is going to be filled by the voices of Beijing and the voices of Moscow while we're silent.
And as we saw from that lead-in, there are authoritarian governments all around the world who are cheering the absence of VOA from the airwaves. Why is VOA being targeted? And again, it strikes me that there are a lot of similarities here with the VOA targeting and the effort to dismantle USAID. These are both programs that were started to counteract the spread of authoritarianism, to spread democracy around the world. Why are they in the crosshairs of this administration?
Authoritarians have always hated the Voice of America. In the very early days when we went on the air from the Cincinnati area in Ohio, Hitler said, "Those Cincinnati liars." They hate us because we speak the truth. It's fair and balanced reporting. We report not only about what's going on in the United States, warts and all, but we also report about what's going on in their countries. And authoritarian governments do not want independent and balanced reporting coming in from the outside, especially, let alone in their own country.
Right, so all of this is essentially a war on the production of knowledge, the dissemination of knowledge, and the spread of democracy.
That's, if we have one bias at the Voice of America, it's we're pro-democracy.
Well, that is a dangerous bias, I guess, to have right now. Steve Herman, thank you so much for joining us. We will be right back.
Thank you. My pleasure.